Hello, this is Nitin Dahad with the Times, and I'm here at in London, West London, in the Novotel, and talking to Charles Sturman, who's the CEO of TechWorks and their Semiconductors to Systems Summit here in the UK. Charles, hello, how are you?
Hi Nitin, how are you?
I'm good, and well done for putting this together. It's been a pretty impressive day. I think you had 4 different tracks, and all the different sort of aspects of building the semiconductor ecosystem in the UK. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So TechWorks, as the industry association in the UK for semiconductors, but also for electronic systems and cybersecurity. We've been around for 30 years, so this is our 30th anniversary this year. Yeah. We started out as NMI in 1996, which was the National Microelectronics Institute.
And I saw Derek Boyd here.
Yes, yeah, with a lot of our old friends, the family's around still. Yeah. And over the last few years, we've really tried to double down in key strategic areas of UK capability, but also international need and demand. So today, there were really 4 distinct areas we operate in. Yeah. It's chip design, it's semiconductor manufacturing and supply chain, electronic systems specifically for particular vertical markets like automotive, aerospace, defense, and last but not least, cybersecurity and root of trust from the chip all the way through the stack.
Yeah, we've got one of them over here, the SCI.
SCI is just there, that's right, yeah. And so what we wanted to do this year, especially for our 30th anniversary, rather than having one day event per each of those communities, is bring everyone together for a big event all in one day, where we have everything from design to manufacture to cybersecurity all under one roof. And we've had today over 700 people in this building, not only UK people and companies, but also a delegation from Canada, from Japan, from Holland, and from Saxony in Germany as well.
Yeah. I'm actually quite impressed that typically in Europe, August is vacation season, but you've managed to get over 700 people here dedicated to like listening to panels, listening to speakers, and actually, all these exhibitors here. It's pretty impressive. How did you
okay. So when we put this together, we started planning this at the end of last year. We wanted to work with UKSC, the UK Semiconductor Centre, on this as well, which is the government-funded strategy and policy body.
Which is a new body as well.
Which is a new body. Yeah. For them, they wanted to do it before the end of the summer. From our perspective, there's a big expo coming up, which is Microelectronics UK at the end of September, which we're involved in as well.
And we are EE Times as well. Yeah.
Right, and so August was the right time to do it. And once we started talking to people about it, people actually became really excited about the idea of doing it at the very last week in August. Everyone's back from their vacations. In fact, actually, this week also is the big silicon event in the US as well, right? Hot chips. Thank you.
We've been reporting from that as well.
Yeah. So it just came together, and I've got to say, it actually, once we started moving, it wasn't difficult to get people to come. And of course, what we're billing this as, and what's actually happened today, is this really is an executive level strategic summit. Okay. This is not just, we've got a great exhibition, 70 exhibitors today, but actually it's the coming together of the key thinkers and strategists, not just in the UK, but a bunch of different European people here, but also those international delegates I mentioned as well, coming together to share information, to listen to each other and talk about where we're heading and what we're doing next.
And I think, all very well to talk about a great event, great exhibition, but the big news here is, I think, you announced, the UK SIA. Now tell us a little bit about that and the intentions.
So, as I said, over the years, semiconductors, of course, has become a much more important geopolitical, economic security, critical national infrastructure concern. And of course, all the emerging technologies we see coming out today, quantum, virtual reality, AI, medical electronics, robotics, it's all fundamentally built on semiconductor devices. Okay, so TechWorks started out as NMI in 1996, and the semiconductor industry in the UK, I said this morning in my opening speech, is not dead, right? In the build track, which was our semiconductor manufacturing track, that room has capacity for, I think, 280 people. There were people standing at the back, right? So trust me, UK Semiconductors is alive and kicking. And so we wanted to send a very clear signal to British companies, startups as well as scale-ups as well as big multinationals. We wanted to send a signal to the rest of the world. As I said earlier, we are building relationships with other ecosystems like Canada, Japan and so forth, and we want it to be very clear to everyone what we stand for. And so NMI has served us well for many years. We created a new design community around SoC chip design just over a year and a half ago called DESN, D-E-S-N for design. It felt the right time to bring these two things together as the UK Semiconductor Industry Association, UKSIA. And of course, we fully understand, we can see that globally there is SIA in the US, but there are other SIAs around the world as well, the European SIA, Singaporean SIA, and so on. So we tested this with a bunch of our members across our networks, and we had overwhelming support for this move, and so that's why we did it. And actually, what I presented this morning was that news, and I then put that alongside the Applied Electronic Systems Innovation Network, ASIN, and next to that, the IoT Security Foundation, which is about cybersecurity, root of trust and resilience. And when you stand those three trade bodies, industry associations alongside each other, it's a very clear statement of design and make the chip, build it into an electronic system, and run cybersecurity resilience through the whole value chain. Okay. And so going forward, we will be promoting each of those activities in their own right with their own focus group and initiatives, and TechWorks will be the platform behind it to deliver that service and that activity.
All right, well, congratulations. And one of the last things I want to talk to you about is what are the key themes that you felt were strong in the discussions today? I mean, I know I ran a panel, it was all around materials to manufacture, and it was around things like access to finance, scaling up, talent, networks, ecosystems. I guess that was a common theme everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, where do I start? I think ecosystems is a big deal. I run a panel on international collaboration with our international delegates, and we talked about ecosystems of ecosystems, okay? And we talked about how can one country, Canada has a lot of capability in packaging, like volume packaging. We have a lot of capability in design, system architecture. There's an obvious play there, right? We talked about on I think the materials innovation track session before yours. We talked about how there's such a range of different materials, and the periodic table is still giving up more opportunities. So there's a kind of an ecosystem of different materials and how they come together.
We heard about that in our panel as well, which is around the 2D materials.
Right, and actually really interesting. I came out of the system on chip design panel, which was in the system integration track over in Create in ASIN, and we had Raspberry Pi, XMOS, Imagination and Cadence Design talking about complex SoC development, the use of AI in design, and how we verify these more complex chips going forward. And all of those companies I just mentioned, save Cadence, they're all British companies. Oh, and by the way, Cadence has a huge design capability in the UK. Yeah. I come over to your session and you're talking, and this kind of blew me away, right? We've got two multinationals based in the UK, Oxford Instruments and Lumentum, yeah. Right? Lumentum's just had something crazy like $130 million of investment to scale up in the UK. Ian talked about how the whole fundamental next-gen laser technology that they're building is building here, right?
And it's based on the Caswell
history. That's right. Yeah. Fabs are sticky, right? Yeah. And then we hear from Simon and Farak from Pragmatic. These are not Paragraph and Pragmatic. These aren't startups. Simon said we have two multinationals and we have two scale-ups, right? Yeah. So the ecosystem, scale-up, collaboration, and whole value chain. Another trend that came up across everything here was there are no partitions. This industry cannot be siloed. If you design, you need to think about the manufacturing and the packaging. Yeah. If you're designing the chip, you need to think about the electronic system it's going to go into. And you can't think about the system without looking at the OEM and the use case. Yeah. It's all joined up.
Exactly. Well, good. It's been fascinating here. What excites you about being CEO of TechWorks? Like we've known each other for a long time. But yeah.
Well, both of us are excited about the technology in the industry today, aren't we? Yeah. I had 3 first-year EEE students turn up on the TechWorks table when I was trying to take some brochures to give somebody. We have UK ESF here, Engineering Skills Foundation. They brought, I think, 12 students here.
Stuart is doing some good
Stuart's doing some amazing stuff. And by the way, the UK government, DBIST as it now is, are funding some of that work, which is brilliant. And these guys came up to me. I've been in the industry 30 years, I'm running TechWorks now, and they said, oh, I'm doing EEE, what should I do when I graduate? And I got a bit excited about the opportunities in our industry. When I started, it was a choice between radar and missile guidance, so instead of that, I joined Acorn Computers to design home computers. Yeah. Now, you have AR, VR, AI, quantum, you have quantum communication. I mean, there is no end.
All you need to say is talk to these 70 exhibitors here.
Yeah, look at the rich, and this is, let me go right back to the beginning. We have a rich seam of capability in the UK here across design, architecture, specialist emerging materials, 2D, thin film, wide band gap, photonics, right, silicon photonics and active photonics. And I say this to everyone there online listening to this, come and talk to the UK because we have a lot of great capability and we are really keen to collaborate internationally and work with other stakeholders and partners to build out that capability, because at the end of the day, nobody can do everything on their own in this industry.
Well, that is such a true thing in this industry. Yes. Well, Charles, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Nitin. Thank you.